In this video, let us answer the recent IELTS Speaking Part 1 topic questions about transport, fishing, and geography. My name is Julius. Welcome to ieltsDragon. Let's get started. Let's talk about transport. How do you go to work or school? I'm so lucky that my office is a stone's throw away, so I go to work on foot. I like it because I can exercise every single day and I can save money as I don't need to spend on public transport. I have to go to school by bus because it's the cheapest compared to other modes of transportation. Well, I understand that it takes longer than taking a train, but my part-time work is not enough for me to cover all my expenses. So taking a bus is the best option as I can save than taking the train. What's the most popular means of transport in your hometown? Of course, it's the train. It's the most convenient mode of transportation and it's always on time. But honestly, I don't like taking the train during rush hour because it's incredibly crowded. I hate to jam myself into the crowd as it makes me feel sick. I believe it's the train because they're pretty accessible and convenient. The train stations are really organized and one can go from one place to another without getting lost. But like I said earlier, it's way more expensive than buses. How far is your home from your office or school? It only takes 10 minutes on foot. The location of the company where I'm currently working is perfect for me. As I'm a person who enjoys walking, I love it. I can exercise every day without hitting the gym. Since I go by bus, it takes me 30 minutes to get to school. However, if I take the train, it only takes 15 minutes approximately. Well, 30 minutes by bus is not really that long, anyway. So, you got a band 6.5 again. This time, you need help. Get my latest reviewers. My reviewers helped many students achieve bands 8, 7.5, and 7. In my reviewers, you will learn how I achieved a band 9 on my first attempt at taking the IELTS speaking exam. You will also learn how to develop a story in part 2 naturally and interestingly. And you will learn how to discuss answers in part 3 logically and meaningfully. Get the latest reviewers today and save yourself from taking the exam over and over again. Send an email today. Do you think people will drive more in the future? I believe not because self-driving cars will become more and more popular. Many years later, I think people will simply rely on self-driving cars as they're more reliable compared to human drivers. I understand that people these days are skeptical about those kinds of cars, but recently I've seen reports that self-driving cars, especially in the US, are doing pretty well with very minimal accidents. Therefore, people in the future will no longer drive. I don't think so. I don't see the future of people giving up on driving cars and simply relying on self-driving cars. I think the feeling of operating a car makes a person happy, and for sure it provides him a sense of achievement. But anyway, no one knows the future, so I could be wrong. Let's talk about fishing. Have you ever been to a place with lots of fish around you? Yes, I once traveled to one of the islands in this country and went fishing. I was at a loss for words because of so much fish. It didn't take me hours to catch a lot of healthy salmon. That experience was truly one for the books. Yes, I remember when I went snorkeling in the southern part of this country. I was surrounded by many kinds of fish and they're very beautiful. I saw some clownfish, blue tang, butterfly fish, Moorish idols, and many more. I actually enjoyed swimming with them during that time, but unfortunately, I couldn't take pictures as I left my water-resistant camera. Is fishing popular in your country? Absolutely. Fishing is one of the common hobbies that people in this country enjoy during summertime. So people can expect that some rivers or lakes are crowded with people who enjoy this hobby every summer. I'm lucky because I don't need to go to those popular lakes or rivers to fish, as I live in the countryside where I can always go fishing nearby. I'm not sure about this, but I can see some people go fishing every summer, especially in the countryside. Some people in the city travel to the south for their summer vacation, and some of them go fishing. But I don't think that happens in many places in this country. I think fishing is not a popular hobby in this country. Why do people go fishing? Well, some people want adventure. They just enjoy the feeling of catching fish after hours of waiting. As we know, fishing takes a lot of patience. When one finally catches fish, that gives him a sense of pride and he feels victorious. That's because fishing is the livelihood of some people. They have to catch fish as much as possible so they can sell them to the market. It's a way to make a living for them. Have you seen any movies with lots of fish? Yes, but I only remember one movie right now, and it's Finding Nemo. That movie was a part of my childhood, and because of that movie, I learned what a clownfish looked like. Well, there were many kinds of fish in that movie, and they were incredibly beautiful. I don't remember if I've seen a movie with lots of fish. I don't know, I guess not. Because if I watched one in the past and it's an awesome film, I wouldn't forget about it. So perhaps I haven't seen one yet. Let's talk about geography. Do you think geography is useful? I think so because it teaches us to understand different places of the world and the relationships between people and their environments. If one doesn't know or has little knowledge about all these things, he can't live harmoniously with others and he can't contribute more value to the place that he's living in or to the places he's visiting. Yes, absolutely. As geography describes the Earth, people understand the planet's movement, changes, and systems. Also, they understand how past societies and environments developed. Because of these things, people will be able to address the current issues that the world is going through, such as climate change. You know what? Geography is not all about understanding maps, and learning it is so useful as it can save the world. Have you ever learned geography? Yes, of course. I learned geography when I was a grader. I think I was in year six when I learned about geography. If my memory serves me right, I learned how to read a map, the different continents in the world, and the contributions of different countries to the world. Well, that's all I can remember. Definitely, I learned the basics of geography in my elementary years, and it wasn't until I became a university student that I broadened my knowledge about geography. I learned about how human activities negatively affect the environment, such as the rising of sea levels, how significant is the location of a country in trading, and many more. I think people can learn a lot about geography just by watching the National Geographic Channel. Yes, but it's such a shame to admit this, but I don't think I learned a lot about geography back then. As far as I can remember, the only thing that I learned about it is the use of maps. That is, learning how to locate continents and specific places on a map. Sadly, geography isn't my cup of tea then.